Golden sunsets on Venice Beach, your hand wrapped tight around my sleeve. College nights in cheap motel rooms, dreaming bigger than we could afford. You said New York was calling your name, while I stayed chasing songs in LA. Back then forever felt so easy under California skies. At first the distance felt harmless, just FaceTime calls before you slept. You tell me about crowded subways, I play unfinished songs for you. But West Coast love don't always survive when two hearts grow in different lights. You were Manhattan City dreams, I was Hollywood neon nights. And somewhere between time zones and silence, we slowly became strangers again. Funny how a few thousand miles can turn into an entire lifetime. I still remember your tiny apartment, plants dying beside the kitchen sink. You laughed and said one day we'll laugh about all this distance. But calls got shorter every month, and I miss you turned into I'm tired. To loving each other started feeling like another thing to survive. Sometimes love doesn't end with goodbye, it just fades quietly in routines. Two people holding on too long to a version of life that no longer fits. Now I play songs in downtown bars while your skyline glows somewhere far away, and every crowd still feels empty without you singing beside me. 'Cause West Coast love was beautiful, but beautiful things still disappear. And the hardest part about losing you was watching it happen slowly for you. You left our little hometown at 21, 2 suitcases in California in your eyes. Said I can't stay here forever. Well, I beg you just one more night. You chose bright lights over old memories, Sunset Boulevard over our street. And I watched your car disappear like a movie ending too soon. At first you called me every evening, crying about auditions and lonely nights. And slowly your voice belonged to interviews, strangers screaming your name. Now your face is on every billboard downtown. Everybody in America knows your smile. You finally got those Hollywood dreams, the ones you used to whisper in my arms. But one night on a late show interview, they asked, who did you love the most? And you stayed silent for so long before tears ruined your makeup. up, live on TV. I still work at that old gas station outside of town. You couldn't wait to leave. Sometimes customers mention your new movie without knowing I once held your heart. And every award speech sounds beautiful, but I wonder if success isn't lonely too. 'Cause fame can fill 1,000 theaters and still leave one empty seat inside you. Funny how people chase dreams their whole lives, thinking happiness waits on the other side, till they finally arrive and realize who they lost getting there. Oh, now the whole world calls your name. Oh, now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world calls you. Now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world, now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world calls your name. Now the whole world. You left our little hometown. Now the whole world, you left our little hometown at 21. You left our little hometown. 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 Mm. Ooh. Ooh. Downtown lights blur through the taxi windows. Friday crowds moving way too fast. Everybody's laughing somewhere tonight, while I'm just trying to survive another evening. The city never really sleeps, but somehow it still feels empty. Ever since the girl who called me home stopped answering my calls. Funny how loneliness gets louder in places full of people. 'Cause these downtown lights don't want me anymore. Neon colors can't replace your soul. I got bars, music, strangers everywhere, but nowhere feels like home now. You used to hold my hand through crowded streets like the whole city belonged to us. Now every skyline just reminds me what losing you turned me into. I still walk past our favorite diner at 1 a.m. after too many drinks, half expecting to see you smiling in that booth beside the window. People say heartbreak fades with time, but the city remembers everything. Every corner still whispers your name in ways I can't escape. Maybe home was never really a place. Maybe it was simply you, and losing you felt like getting lost inside my own life. So tonight I'll drive beneath these downtown lights again. Windows down, silence on the radio, watching strangers fall in love around me, while I keep missing the one I lost. 'Cause no matter how beautiful the city looks at night, nothing shines bright enough to fill the space you left behind. We used to dance in the kitchen at midnight, barefoot on those cold apartment tiles. You pull me close while pasta boiled over, laughing like nothing else mattered. That old jazz record skipping softly, yellow light hanging above the sink. God, ordinary moments felt beautiful back when they belonged to us. Funny how the smallest memories become the hardest ones to survive. Now I can't hear that song anymore without feeling your hands around me. And every time it starts playing somewhere, I leave before the first chorus ends. 'Cause we were slow dancing in the kitchen, like forever was something we could hold. Now even walking past that room feels heavier than heartbreak should. Your favorite mug still hides in the cabinet, even though I should have thrown it away. I guess part of me keeps tiny evidence that we were once real. Sometimes at 1 a.m. I still freeze, hearing phantom footsteps in the hallway, like love trained my heart to expect you home forever. tiny apartment kitchen. Summer of 2019 felt endless. Sunburned skin and cheap motel nights, windows down on coastal highways. You laughed and mixing with the radio. We thought growing older looked romantic, back when life was still uncomplicated. Just two kids chasing sunsets, like heartbreak belonged to other people. August disappeared too quickly, and somehow September changed everything. 'Cause the summer of 2019 was the happiest I've ever been, and maybe that's exactly why losing you hurts so bad. Now every time the weather gets warm, I feel sadness instead of freedom. Funny how one beautiful season can ruin summers forever. Yeah, you left on a cold September evening, crying beside my old apartment stairs, saying maybe love isn't enough anymore. And I remember pretending to stay calm while my whole chest fell apart quietly. Nobody tells you the end can sound so gentle. Now everybody posts beach pictures and rooftop parties every July, but all summer does to me now is remind me of goodbye. So I stopped loving sunsets after that year, stopped rolling down the windows when I drive, because some memories shine too brightly to revisit without pain. And no matter how many summers come after, part of me still is back there in 2019, before September took you away. 8:15 every morning sharp, same little cafe by the subway stop. You sat by the window with your headphones on, writing secrets inside that notebook. Caramel latte, oversized coat, rainy day playlist wrapped around your soul. While Manhattan rushed outside the glass, you looked untouched by any of it. I learned your habits without knowing your name, the songs you hummed, the way you crossed your legs. Funny how someone can become important without ever speaking once. You were my coffee shop girl, the reason mornings felt less cold. For 2 whole years I watched from a distance, too scared to say hello. Then one Monday your chair stayed empty, no notebook, no headphones, no smile. And suddenly that little cafe didn't feel like home. for someone with a grin, I just laughed and looked away, like I hadn't built entire dreams around you. Maybe you moved to another city, maybe you finally found somebody else, or maybe I just waited too long to become part of your world. Now every stranger sitting by that window feels wrong somehow, 'cause some people leave quietly without even knowing they were loved. You were my coffee shop girl, a love story that never really started. And maybe that's why it still hurts like unfinished lyrics in an old song. Sometimes I still walk past that cafe, hoping somehow you'll be there again. Same headphones, same little notebook, like the last 2 years never disappeared. Yeah. I wrote it on a broken piano at 4 a.m. inside my tiny apartment, still wearing the hoodie you left behind, trying not to fall apart. It was never meant for radio, just a desperate letter with a melody about a girl who once told me, promise you'll never stop making music. Funny how heartbreak sounds beautiful. One stranger starts singing along. Now the whole world knows the song she loved. Thousands of voices every night singing words I wrote about her eyes under stadium lights. But the one girl it belonged to probably never plays it anymore, and somehow that hurts more than writing it in the first place. People ask me who inspired it, I just laugh and change the subject, 'cause some names still break differently, even after all these years. I heard you moved somewhere quiet, far away from all this noise, while I became the version of myself you always believed I could be. Success feels strange sometimes when the person you wanted beside you most only exists inside the lyrics now. So every night the crowd screams louder, phones light up like stars in the dark, and I sing the story of us to millions of strangers. But after the encore and flashing cameras, I still go home alone, 'cause the biggest song of my life belongs to somebody I lost. And maybe somewhere out there you'd still recognize every word from the song the whole world loves now, except the girl who inspired it. floor, broken elevator, tiny kitchen, coffee stains on the counter. We were 23 with empty pockets, but somehow life felt full. Winter nights wrapped in one blanket, cheap takeout on the living room floor. You danced barefoot to old records, like the world outside didn't exist. Back then we had nothing, but somehow we still had us. Funny how success can buy a better life and still take away the person you love. Apartment 409 still knows your name. The hallway echoes haven't changed. You kept the living room light on every night, waiting for me to come home alive. But Wall Street stole my time away, turned late nights into every day. And the saddest thing I ever saw was coming home to darkness in apartment 409. At first you waited up smiling, then slowly you stopped asking where I'd been. Your coffee got colder beside the couch, while my ties still smell like downtown bars. You said, I miss the man who used to laugh with me, but I was too busy chasing numbers to notice I was losing everything. One night I opened the apartment door and half the room was gone. Your books, your pictures, your perfume, only silence stayed behind. And the lamp beside the window, the one you always left on for me, was dark for the first time in years. That's when I knew you were really gone. Now apartment 409 feels too big for one lonely man in an expensive suit. I trade every dollar that I made on Wall Street just to hear you laughing in that kitchen again. 'Cause success means nothing at all when there's nobody left to come home to. There's a bottle half empty on the counter, same old apartment, same lonely night. City lights bleeding through the curtains while your voicemail plays again. Hey babe, call me when you get home. God, your voice still sounds alive somehow, like time froze inside that recording while everything else moved on. I've heard it 100 times already, but heartbreak has strange rituals. So it's red wine and memories tonight, your voice echoing through these walls. I keep replaying old seconds of us, like they can still keep me company. And even after all this time, I still can't bring myself to delete it, 'cause losing the voicemail too would feel too much like losing you again. Ooh, Friends say healing means letting go, but they never heard the way you laughed right before hanging up the phone, like the world still felt safe back then. Now every night tastes bittersweet, cheap wine and emotional relapses. Funny how loneliness turns people into historians of their own heartbreak. Maybe memories aren't meant to disappear. Maybe they stay to remind us that someone once loved us enough to leave pieces of themselves behind. So tonight I'll pour another glass slowly and let your old voicemail play again, pretending for 30 short seconds you still exist somewhere close to me. And when the recording finally ends, the silence hurts every single time, but not as much as hearing your voice for the last time ever would. He used to steal my phone in the car, adding songs while I drove downtown. Windows down, midnight air, your voice louder than the speakers. Every memory has a soundtrack now. Every chorus still sounds like us. Funny how music survives long after people leave. Then one night after our breakup, you made a playlist quietly, and the title hurt more than goodbye. Songs I can't listen anymore. 27 tracks and everyone was mine. Songs I used to play while driving you home under city lights at 2 a.m. Now every melody feels haunted. Every lyric cuts a little deeper, 'cause somewhere inside your headphones our love still exists in pieces. There's that old Arctic Monkey song, it's incompletely out of tune, and the slow acoustic track you cried to after we fought that winter. I saw you updated the playlist again at 3:16 in the morning. Guess heartbreak has insomnia too. People think memories live in photographs, but I stayed hidden inside music, waiting for random nights to ruin us all over again. So now I drive alone through downtown, skipping songs before they reach your part. 'Cause loving you didn't just change my heart, it changed the way music sounds forever. Somewhere out there, ooh, you probably still avoid those songs too. Two strangers connected by